As the module leader, I can use the BIM360 app to create a checklist and assign it to one of the project members. Selecting the checklist option, then the plus sign to create a new checklist. Once we select the plus sign, we can choose from a list of existing checklist templates. Here I'm going to choose Concrete General as my defined template. Once we select this, we can choose the select option on the top right hand side. Here we can add a new title for the checklist. We propose that you use the student initials as the prefix for the checklist template. Here I'm going to call it CT for Connor Tyler, then Concrete Checklist. Once we add the title, we can then choose the Assign To section. Here we assign it to a particular student member. Now we can specify the location. Selecting this field will allow us to pick a location within the project. Here I'm going to select the ground floor in the treatment room. Under the schedule date, we can decide a date that the checklist must be completed by. Selecting the Create button will then finish the creation process and assign the student this particular checklist to complete. Once the checklist is assigned, we can log into the BIM360 app as the student. Here I can select the Checklist tab and then choose the checklist that has been assigned to me. You will notice it says Not Started. We can then scroll down through the checklist and complete each of the fields as required. You can see that I'm quickly inserting yes, no or non-applicable for each of the options within the checklist. As we complete the checklist, you will see on the left hand side we have our percentage completed bar. This will change as we go through the checklist and update each of the topic options. As we are completing the checklist, we can use the note field on each of the topics to add any specific notes regarding these issues on the checklist. Simply add the text required, then click the Done button. We can also utilize the photo option to add additional photos with each particular item in the checklist. Here I'm selecting a photo from the library, then attaching it to the checklist item. This will then attach any notes and photos to the checklist as required. Once we have completed all the items within the checklist, we can then choose the Done button and the Checklist Completed button to finish off and complete this checklist that has been assigned to us. Once we have done this, the status of the checklist will update to Checklist Completed.